Just doing my pose. Where's my phone gone? There it is. Just doing my pose for the Facebook picture and the YouTube picture because it takes a picture of you and usually it gets you sitting like this. For some reason. I'm sure it's like on purpose. Hello, enough of my waffle. I am the great Xander Gibb, making America great again for today's edition of the Xander Gibb Show. We're just getting live and getting comfy and getting ready to broadcast, sharing links, which you can feel free to do. Oh, yes, sirree. Don't forget our drinking game today. Every time you hear the phrase, oh, yes, sirree, or Goat Lives Matter, you can take a drink of whatever is your tipple. Oh, yes, you can. We're just setting up the live feeds, ready for today's edition. And we will be there very soon. There we go. It's interesting. No matter how good the quality of the camera you have, it never kind of comes up like as good as it possibly could. But there you go. Right, let's find that YouTube link to share with people. Hello to all our early birds. We will be going live on all channels and stations in just a few moments for the Xander Gibb Show. We're nearly there. Let's move this over. It's gone cold tonight. It's 54 degrees. I would far prefer it to be warm because it's easier to cool down than it is like to warm up, I assure you. Where are we? Let's get that link and share it. Sharing it on Parler. There we go. Parlez. Parlez-vous. Parlez. Parlez-vous. Français. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Qui est là? Don't know what any of that meant, really. I remember doing French in class, but, you know, like most people, I was more interested in the oral than the written. Take from that what you will. Hello to all of the early birds. Hello to Janie. I will say hello to everybody individually. Yes, I had my hair cutted today. Hello to Chet. Hello to everyone who's watching, but actually not in the live feed or listening. You are welcome. I'm just going to share on Facebook before we get started. Here we go. So, coming live to you internationally, I will say hello to everybody individually. In just 1 second, being careful not to share into groups that I shouldn't so I don't get death threats. How come you shared into my group? Oh, yes, we are nearly there. Just a few more places to share. And we will be ready to fly. Are you ready to fly? Are you ready to fly? Freedom on deck. Oh, yes, sirree. Just nearly getting there. Being sure not to. Share to any groups I'm not supposed to share in. But we are nearly there. Resisting the resistance. I think that's about it. No, we don't want to share in Cats Lost and Found. There we are. Feel free to click that share button. We are going to go into the opening titles in 5, 4, 3, 2.
It has been good to me this time around. Things were they were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact and I can find no rest. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and eras don't dictate.
Hello and welcome to today's incredible episode of the Xander Gibb Show, the talk show that really does get you talking on the Xandermonium Network, live from an undisclosed location, bringing you the best in Patriot broadcasting 5 nights a week. I'm Xander Gibb, and on tonight's edition, I get on my soapbox and invite you to do the same. I'll be breaking down and analyzing the real news and giving you the chance to get on your soapbox too in our phone in. And in part 2, we break down today's hottest topics with comedian and actor Stephen D. Schneider. You can have your say in the live feed below, and as usual, I'll be sharing your comments as we go. So you know what? Keep them clean. You can follow me on social media, and you can check me out at XanderGibb.com. Let's come to the live feed and see who is gracing our presence. Let's go backwards so we can say hello to everybody. Hello to Janie. Welcome to the show. Janie's asking if I cut my hair. Yeah, well, my hairdresser did. I fancied the change, just a little change. Hello to my brother Chet out there in Long Island by his pool. Hello to my Gina. Hello to, who else is there? Hello to Robert. Welcome. It's nice to see you. Been a while. Hello to, Chet says he's been extremely upset about the black Trump supporter that was killed. Where did that post go? Can't find that. The feed just moved as I was reading it. I'm extremely upset about the black Trump supporter that was killed in Milwaukee last Thursday. Didn't hear about that. That's terrible. Can't advocate anybody being killed. It's getting rough out there. Chet says, wouldn't surprise me one bit. Chet says these Antifa thugs need to be eliminated. Absolutely. Hello to everybody else who's watching but not in the live feed. You are most welcome. We're going to go into Xander's news of the day. I need a little jingle for that. Dun dun dun. So a pet cat has tested positive for the coronavirus in the first confirmed case in the UK of infecting an animal. The government said the cat is thought to have been infected by its owners who have tested positive for COVID-19, though the animal and people are fully recovered. There was no transmission to other animals or other people in the household, and no evidence to suggest the animal gave the disease to the owners or the animals can pass COVID-19 on to people. The government added this in a statement. Good job it didn't fall off a roof or something, because they would have put the cause of death down to COVID. I am sure. Hello to caller. Welcome to the live feed. From one pussy to another, you got my link there. Actor Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson have been granted Greek citizenship. Now, the couple were snapped on Saturday night with the Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mistakis. Wait a minute, I'm not sure if I got his name right, but actually, who cares? He's the president of Greece, so I won't have to talk about him again. Holding up their new Greek passports. Now, according to the post from Mitsotakis, Rita Wilson and Tom Hanks are now proud Greek citizens. Hanks and Wilson have long been visitors to Greece. Wilson's mother is Greek and was raised on the Greek-Albanian border. Who cares? Tom Hanks has no respect for those who won't wear masks. Well, folks, I have no respect for globalist liberals who use their fame to polarize Americans. Piss off and stay where you are, guys. We don't need you. And I'm sure this view is echoed in the live feed and with all of those listening. And from one idiot to another, oh, the links are amazing. Hi to Dave. Goats Lives Matter, buddy. Chet said that Tom is doing the pedo run. I will add allegedly to that so none of us get sued. Alexandria Ocasio, no neocortex, speaks to the House, making impassioned remarks against what she terms as vulgar words of a male colleague, and the toxic culture to allows it have resonated with women who say such language has been tactically accepted for far too long. Representative Naida Velasquez is seated right and asks a woman if she's been called the B word by a man, perhaps modified by the F ejected, and chances are she'll say, yes, you mean ever, or how many times, because most women will tell you it's pretty universal, especially if they've held a position of power in the workplace. I'd say maybe 25 times, estimates Alan Gerstein, who spent 25 years in technology publishing in a fairly male-dominated field before becoming a pharmaceutical executive. And that's just to my face. I have a little advice for you ladies who don't want to be called a fucking bitch. Excuse my expletive. Stop acting like one! America really does deserve better than these whiny, whingy bitches in public office. Just getting rid of a hairball there from the cat story at the beginning of the show. Airline regulators are expected this week to launch a crackdown on carriers that have failed to refund families for flights canceled due to the coronavirus as the industry reels from new restrictions over Spain. The Civil Aviation Authority is understood to have drawn up a list of the worst culprits, with millions of customers still owed billions of pounds and dollars after being told they could not fly. Enforcement action could end up with airlines being banned from operating. Demands for a refund are expected to spike again in the coming weeks as airlines are forced to reconsider their summer holiday schedules amid fears over a second wave of COVID. Wasn't even a first wave. Here's a wave for you. Shut the hell up. Where are we? I just want to come to. Janie says, someone came screaming at the top of their lungs to my campus saying they're dying of COVID, LOL. The person turned out to be negative and just had a panic attack. I hope he enjoys the bill he receives when he didn't know we were a free testing site. Hilarious. Okay. And finally, Kylie Jenner did more than buy Stormy 4 mini Prada bags this month. The near billionaire also bought her 2-year-old daughter a famous pony from the Netherlands, one with a hefty price tag that is being reported. According to the outlet, Jenner purchased a 17-year-old gray pony, Hunter, named from Frozen celeb fave horse breeder Style Wilton. Now, sources with knowledge of the deal are saying that the outlet are saying the horse cost $200,000 to ship Frozen from the Netherlands. Jenna had to pay $7,000 and $10,000 additionally. Now, because Frozen is coming from Europe during the coronavirus pandemic, he has to quarantine, and there are people starving in the world. Jenna hasn't responded to any response about her horse purchase, which I suppose is her God-given right. But aren't we sick of these famous people pontificating about what they're spending and what they're not? And that was Xander's news of the day. If you want to come and get on your soapbox, or share an item of news that's really pissing you off, you can contact me at Xander@XanderGibb.com. That's Xander@XanderGibb.com, or you can go to XanderGibb.com/contact. That's XanderGibb.com/contact. Hello to Mike and hello to Dave, who joined the lead. Chip says, why do you think Hollywood hates Trump so much? Because he's got their freaking number. That's exactly what it is. So the lines are open. We have time for a couple of calls. You can call us if you are in the United States of America, God's own land, on 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747. And if you're calling from the UK, you can call us on 0208-133-5274. That's 0208-133-5274. That's 0208-133-5274 if you're calling from the UK. Dave's apologizing for changing the name of his group. Hey, dude, you do what is best for you. No worries. Hello to everybody who's joined the live feed. If I haven't seen you, you are most welcome. Please make sure you've clicked that share button. The lines are open. You can call us on 845-363-4747 if you're in the United States of America, or if you're in the United Kingdom, you can call me on 0208-133-5274. That was my best Jenner Street Porter impersonation. I think it's pretty good. It'd be great to get a call from the UK sometime. I know we have UK listeners, but they're all a bit scaredy cat, and they're a bit scared to call. Oh, we have a caller. I wonder if it's someone from the United Kingdom. Here we go. Welcome to the Xander Gibb Show. You are live, so no expletive. What's your name and where are you calling from, Chet?
This is Tom Hanks. Just letting you guys know we're shortly departing for Rome anytime now. I think that's where we got our citizenship. Nothing's going on. It's absolutely just these are all rumors about me.
So it's not a pedophilia tour as previously posted by a certain host from a certain show. Not my show, though.
Hey, Xander, I mean, seriously, and I know I'm not going to point the finger at the guy right now, but isn't it kind of coincidental that, like, the week that this lady gets brought in, the one that was bringing all these young girls to Epstein, and then the news came out that she was naming names. Now we hear Tom Hanks is getting the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I don't think the U.S. has an extradition treaty with Greece, does it? And that might be a reason why. But
that might be it. Yeah, okay. So I got to look into it a little more. He's been rumored for a long time to be a pedophile.
I mean, so I don't know. I don't listen to rumors, but there's a lot of other reasons to dislike the guy, like his commentary about people. We still live in a free society, even though the Democrats were trying to change that. So if you don't want to wear a mask, don't frickin' wear a mask. But don't tell me you have no respect for people who don't wear masks, because it's their choice, surely.
Well, they already hate it. If we were wearing masks, they wouldn't like us anymore because we voted for Trump.
Yeah.
They're going to hate us anyway.
Yeah.
I just think something is coming, Xander. I'm telling you, because all the ire against President Trump from all these Hollywood pedos, it seems like too much. And if you look at all the child sex trafficking rings that we busted up under President Trump compared to Obama, I mean, the numbers don't lie. President Trump has put much more of an emphasis on breaking up these child sex traffickers. And I think some of the very wealthy and powerful are worried about this.
Right, of course. Janie just made a very salient point. She said, does Tom Hanks really have any ankle decor on his ankle? Not yet, Janie, but maybe soon. But you see, he's not going to come back. But here's the thing. If you change your citizenship or have a dual citizenship, like I do. I mean, I had a dual citizenship before I came back to live in America. But he's just added this now. Doesn't this mean he will need to get his assets out of there pretty quickly because they'll freeze his assets if he's classified as a criminal. I mean, as far as I'm aware.
Well, why would you do this so late in life?
Yeah, I
Weird.
mean, there's a reason for it.
It's a little weird. It's a little weird. I'm sorry. Tom Hanks, who's in his late 60s, has now decided that he's going to get citizenship in Greece. Just it's usually, Xander, where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm telling you, there's something to this. All this is just too coincidental.
Right.
It's just too coincidental. And I've been hearing a lot of things about Tom Hanks for like the past 15 years.
Right.
So it would not shock me if this is that's the reason Polanski left.
Exactly. Gina says Hanks said President Trump was too stupid to be president. She said she's never watched these movies that were shown on TV. I mean, I like a lot of his movies, but what a lot of this commentary is doing by the Hollywood so-called celebrities is actually polarizing our opinion and support of them. Because I won't ever watch, not that they're going to give Whoopi Goldberg a hit movie again, but I would never want to go and watch anything that any of these weirdos were in. I mean, would you?
No, and it's something to think about. They hate Trump so much that they're willing to turn off half of their fan base. And that's what's true because everybody likes a good comedian. Everybody likes a good actor. Me, myself, I like Forrest Gump. I could watch it, I could watch it 3 times in a row and I wouldn't get sick of it.
Right.
But he does not like me, so I refuse to watch Forrest Gump. I refuse to watch anything else that he's in, including Robert De Niro, Tom Hanks, the scabs on The View, all these Holly weirdos that really hate President Trump and more so hate us because we elected the man. And if President Trump is so stupid, how come he fixed our economy?
Yeah, only for them to try and break it again. But the interesting thing, there's a car in the UK called the Niro, and Robert De Niro has been in the ads, and there's been a drop in sales since he's been advertising. So obviously, British Trump supporters are kind of getting in on the act too. And I thought that fact, after we heard last week that people are stopping advertising on Facebook because of its polarizing politics and its overzealous, bullshit. It's great because do you remember we talked about a year ago about boycotts and stuff? And I know it doesn't really work, but clearly this has, because Trump's reach obviously extends further than we.
It works when the left does a boycott. Xander, it works in reverse. People start buying Goya.
Yeah,
it flew off the shelves once they protested against Goya.
Yeah, it did.
There's more of us than them. Come on, guys, we know this.
Right. I think the thing that is kind of most concerning is that they think we're going to be stupid enough to let them tell us what to buy. I mean, they did it, this is a bad example, but they did it with Chick-fil-A. I don't support Chick-fil-A anymore because they folded. But we can just as easy pull our support from an organization like Chick-fil-A. I mean, I bet most conservatives don't want to buy stuff from there anymore because I certainly know that I don't.
Yeah, that was a bad business move by them. You're right. There are a lot of people. Dana Lash was just saying today on her program that she would no longer be going to Chick-fil-A. I mean, everybody knows her. She's on NRI-TV, Fox News. She's all over the place. You have somebody like Dana Lash that's going to come out against you. You made a bad business decision.
Yeah, I know.
And shame on you for making it because you got pressured into doing it.
I know Dana Lash. We dated in the 90s. We went to the same gun clubs. But I think it takes people like her and people like you and people like I to want to kind of speak out about these things because it's imperative to do so. Because I think we don't get enough say on social media anymore. So what we have to do is we have to vote with our pocketbooks. And if there are companies and organizations and actors out there that, you see, it's okay to disagree as far as I'm concerned, but when you're actually actively working against my president, then you're actively working against me too. And there's an imperative there to stand up to it, surely.
That's what happens, Xander, when somebody comes on your feed and watches the show that didn't know that Chick-fil-A pulled this, and he's going to say, "Oh my God, did you hear about Chick-fil-A? I was watching this guy Xander Gibb. He said that Chick-fil-A was turning its back on Christians. I'm not going there anymore." And then it's another person that hears it that he tells,
Right.
2 other people that hear it that they tell, 4 other people, 6 other people, 10 other people, 100 other people, and you would think that a company like Chick-fil-A would be smart enough to just not get involved. Don't make the statement.
Right. You actually would, but I think after the support we gave to Chick-fil-A, after the decisions it made about its employees, and we stood by them, as good Christians, let alone conservatives, and then they do this to us, market forces will ensue, and people will turn around and say, I'm going to say it politely because we've had too much swearing on the show lately. They will say, screw that. I'm not going to Chick-fil-A anymore. I mean, I love Chick-fil-A food. Don't get me wrong. But I think
it's
that...
great. I hate that I can't go there anymore.
Yeah, I
It's
do.
great
I do
stuff.
too. But I will. I mean, we don't have Chick-fil-A in the UK, so it won't be so problematic for me. But I don't have a problem kind of telling people not to go there because I think that ultimately, with organizations like this that flip-flop, we have to flip-flop too. And our support needs... I mean, I really think that we need to scale back with places like Amazon as well, because their support is legendary for the left. I'm so guilty of it, because having a disability, I can't get out and get everything that I want to get, so I order it online. But what that also has is a knock-on effect to local retailers, where they end up going by the wayside because everybody's going to shitty liberal Amazon,
Oh, yeah, and, the left is very sick, and we know that Google and Amazon, Facebook, and Twitter,
Right.
They're all in bed with each other. I know you probably talked about this at some point, but did you know that Amazon actually sells sex dolls that are children?
Wow, no, I didn't. I mean, I know you can get some
Yeah,
quite
they do.
nefarious things on there.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I mean, if you're an adult and you want things that are adult based, I don't have a problem with that. I just don't want to know about it. But if they're selling things of that ilk, then maybe we need to pull back a lot quicker than suggested.
Yeah, I can't say that they still are. It was a big story for a little while. I think
Wow.
2 years ago. And, that's just completely disgusting. And I just wanted to mention the guy's names. It's Mr. Trammell. He's from Milwaukee. He was shot to death. He was shot on Thursday night. He was shot wearing his Make America Great Again hat. He was shot
Wow.
when he was outside. He was shot because he's a Trump supporter.
You see
In
what-
that community, and everybody outside that
Wow.
had met that man said he was so peaceful. And a few people said, yeah, I didn't agree with his support of Trump, but he was always, he would talk to me for a half hour.
Right.
And I walked away saying, you know what? The Trump supporters aren't that bad. And that's why they killed him. And the media won't even talk
Disgusting.
about it, Xander.
Disgusting. Hi to Swoop. Welcome to the live feed. The thing for me is that I was actually thinking about this today. There's been more trouble in Portland. More people have been shot. I would not be surprised if the president gets to a point where he says, screw this, I'm sending in the National Guard and the FBI, whether you like it or not, because places like Chicago have just become so bad. And what about the people that are not involved in this violence and all of this unrest? They're suffering too. So someone needs to be a voice for them, because this is not just about left and right. This is about American citizens that are being terrorized for the sake of the left, for the sake of furthering the left's ideology to win in November. And we both know that they're not going to do that by honest means.
Oh, and if they don't get it, they're going to explode.
Yeah.
They're going to have to bring in the National Guard.
For sure.
When that happens. It's so sad to see that a guy that lived in his community for so long, a guy that was a lifetime resident in Milwaukee, and that he always was in the community shaking hands and talking to people. When it was the liberal mayor in that community, he hasn't been in that. They were talking to somebody. He's like, the mayor doesn't even come here.
Didn't
So,
you say?
they don't point out when somebody that's a great person gets shot to death because
Right.
of their support for the president because they don't agree with his politics.
Didn't you say it was a black guy?
Nobody is talking about it. It's horrible.
Didn't you say it was a black guy?
Oh, yeah, I sent it. If you go, before you get the guest on, look in your messenger. I sent you a meme that we put out, and we're going to post it up on Freedom on Deck so everybody can look and say his name and say it to all the hateful people out there in social media and on the streets.
Right.
Tell them that Antifa and Black Lives Matter are terrorist organizations.
Yeah. Yeah, where the hell are they when people like Captain David Dorn, who spent 40 years serving the community, gets gunned down by a young black thug? And you know what? Write to me and tell me that's racist, because I don't give a shit anymore. I really don't. When a young black thug kills a senior member of the black community who has served the community, and not a whisper from Black Lives Matter, but George Floyd ends up dead after an altercation with the police, because I'm not sure I think this was murder now. You know, he was saying he couldn't breathe before the guy even put his knee on his neck. I'm not excusing anything he did, but this guy was a criminal. But this guy, David Dorn, Captain David Dorn, you know, Black Lives Matter say absolutely nothing about David Dorn, and it disgusts me.
They used the gentleman that got the knee put in the back of his neck. I'm sorry, Floyd.
Gentlemen?
They used Floyd to push what's going on right now. It was the perfect timing. It was during the virus. It was, you know, all the dominoes were set to be pushed, and that's why they did it then.
Yeah.
And no, he wasn't a great guy. I don't believe that he should have been killed. I think the officer
definitely
reacted badly, and he certainly should do some time. I don't think that he should be in jail for the rest of his life, but that's a whole other situation. The bottom line is Mr. Floyd was on drugs. They took a test, and some of them believe that it was the fact that he was on drugs that killed him.
Right. I mean, I think they're going to have to do extensive autopsies. I mean, but you know, here's the other thing. I know there's always conspiracy theories and stuff like that, but I've seen pictures of a plastic dummy that was being led away of Floyd after all of that, and that officer,
I saw that.
And that officer was a crisis actor who'd been involved in other things. So what are we supposed to think? What are we supposed to believe in these situations? But you know, the thing is that there are people out there that are so venomous that they're ready to jump on things. And you know what? Hating on cops, this is the thing. You know, they're talking about getting rid of the cops in some states. You know, we're going to be even more vulnerable if that happens, because you can't send a social worker into an armed situation. Now, come on, guys, let's sit down and sing. Let's sing Kumbaya and let's sing Kumbaya and see what we can.
Social workers want to get drug into that spot, Xander? Of course not.
No, exactly.
They don't want to do that. They're not prepared for that.
Yeah, because people who are off the face and ready to shoot you don't want to sing Kumbaya and hold hands and talk about it. They actually want you gone and out of their face. You know, it is that simple.
It makes the victim, it puts the victim in harm's way, it puts the criminal in harm's way, and it puts the social worker in harm's way. It's a stupid idea. Anybody that supports it is a absolute piece of garbage. It's just somebody trying to, like you said, defund the police. The police are the only thing separating these mad vigilantes and us.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly.
They want to get rid of the cops and take our guns.
Exactly.
Not letting prisoners out.
But don't you have to?
Everything.
But don't you have to be pretty stupid not to see that a lawless and policeless society is something that doesn't benefit anybody but the criminals and the Democrats? Which, I don't know, I suppose that's a double thing, isn't it? You know, saying criminals and Democrats, because, you know, it's the same one and the same.
Yeah, a bit of a double entendre right there. But, you know, they actually were talking to Jerry Nadler. I don't know if you saw this. If you're talking about this, tell me so I don't do it.
No, we're not.
Jerry Nadler was being interviewed about what's going on right now in Portland and in Seattle and elsewhere. And he said that's just conspiracy theory.
I mean, do you think they have a script of bullshit responses? I think they must email them and say,
and
"Dear Jerry Nadler, your waistline might be at your nipple, but what you have to do is read these responses whenever somebody attacks you. Hi, Pamela. Welcome to the live feed. I mean,
yeah, it's kind of like I think
is that
Jerry
stupid?
Nadler's nipples are probably down to his knees by now.
Yeah. But have you seen how high his waistline is? Have you seen those trousers? You know when you were a kid and you saw like an old fat guy and they wore those trousers with the highest waistline ever, and they're like up to his chin. I mean, and then he opens his mouth, this squeaky voice that comes out. It's like comedy. It's like comedy parody, isn't it?
He looks like did you ever watch Popeye when you were a kid?
Yeah. What was his name? That guy.
Wimpy?
Yeah,
he
Wimpy.
Looks like Wimpy, doesn't
Wimpy,
he? He looks
yeah.
like Wimpy.
Yeah, he does.
And he's not the most unattractive member of Congress that there is. He's not the dumbest. The dumbest is the guy that thought the island was going to tip over. It's funny, they're all Democrats.
No.
Whether they're hideous, stupid, anti-American, communist, they're all Democrats. It's always a Democrat that wants to just crap on the American people. And how can he say conspiracy theories, Xander? They're filming this stuff.
What?
If he thinks that, he is really out of his mind.
Wait a second, CV. I have to correct you there because the dumbest Democrat has to be AOC. I mean, that woman, if she has a brain cell, she would be dangerous. She really would.
Well, the dangerous part is that if Biden gets put in, she'll be calling the shots.
Oh.
They already talked about the economic plan is going to be Bernie's. They'll go with the Green New Deal. AOC will head that up. Muslim relations will be up to Ilhan Omar. Maybe some kind of anti-racist platform that they have where they come out and arrest all of us because we don't like the Democrats.
Yeah,
making us obviously racist.
My favorite is Joe Biden's "Leave the Negroes Alone" policy. You know.
Oh my God!
I mean, how can you in 2020?
I saw it in your feed too, and I also heard this. I think Janice said this, if I'm saying her name right, that they're going to have somebody speaking for Joe Biden at the convention.
I mean, that is so ridiculous.
This crap?
Well, they don't want him out there, do they? If he's referring to black people as Negroes, I mean, it's 2020. I mean, I understand if it's a period drama that's set in the late 1800s that you would refer to black people as Negroes, but referring to black people in 2020 as Negroes, that's nothing but racism. It's disgusting.
Well, that's what they all think, though, Xander. I mean, there's a governor in Virginia who's a Democrat. He wore blackface so many times that his friends, and I'm just going to say it, his friends called him Coon Man. That was his nickname in college. And this is that jerk from Virginia there. The schmuck that never stepped down. He's willing to kill babies in the womb.
Yeah.
And, his nickname's Coon Man. It just, you can't make this stuff up. That's the thing. You can't make it up.
But how come it's okay for the left to go in blackface? There's an app on Snapchat where you can use any particular face, and I used a black guy's face to do a kind of piss take of Joe Biden, and I got called racist for doing that. That wasn't wearing blackface. I was saying it as the guy, But it's okay. If I'd been a liberal, that would have been absolutely fine to not only go blackface, but you can actually call black people Negroes and call them, super predators that need to be brought to heel. Have we forgotten all of that terminology that was used? The left is racist, and they call Donald Trump racist, but the left is racist.
There's nothing they can find on Donald Trump that screams racism.
Yeah.
They've been beating up that misquote forever. It was the quote, when they come across the border, some of them are rapists, some of them are criminals, and some of them are good people.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Instead, what the Democrats do, what they always do, Xander, and they clip out the front and clip out the back, and then the morons sitting in front of the TV like clapping seals, they believe everything that they say.
Right.
So anything that Trump does is bad. If he cures cancer, it's bad. If he saves a child, it's bad. this country is at a tipping point, but I think we have the right man in office, and we just have to make
I
sure
do
he
too.
stays there, Xander.
The accusation of with regards to the housing, that they keep coming up with. I even saw it today. Oh,
Oh,
well, Trump was
God.
so racist, he wouldn't rent to black people. I wouldn't rent to black people if they couldn't afford to pay the rent. The first priority with regards to who you rent to is if they can afford to pay the rent. And whatever color they happen to be, if they can pay the rent and they have good references, then that's fine by me, because it's a business imperative.
They've got a utopian look on everything, Xander, including housing. You hear them talking about single-family housing now.
Yeah.
They want to get rid of single-family housing so they can come knock on my door, or CV's door, or Gina's door, or whoever's listening to Xander's show's door, and tell them, you have too much of a house. We're moving in Carlos and Juan Pablo, and they're going to get the big spot, the large screen TV. You guys have had far too much success here in the United States of America, and we need to knock you down a few pegs.
But I thought we operated in the United States on a capitalist ideology. If you work hard, you get to kind of enjoy the fruits of your labor. Hi to Richard, who just joined the live.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, then what is the point in working hard? You may as well have been on welfare all of these years, kind of, picking the bones off society. We can't just change that overnight like that, because that's not how it works.
No, it's not. Unfortunately, here in the United States of America, and a large part over by you as well, the universities have been hijacked by the Communist Party USA. The professors all teach everyone to hate. They teach everybody that white people are bad, that standing for the flag is bad, arming yourself to protect your family is bad, standing up against a tyrant is bad, all that good stuff that Karl Marx taught them so many hundreds of years ago. That's what they're teaching.
But isn't it worry? Because, this is what our young people are learning. This is what they're learning in university. So what they're doing is that, they've thought about this really well. And you have to kind of applaud them for it in a sick way. They're building the next generation of socialists to have socialist ideologies. And it's happening here too. I'm all for helping people that need it. But the thing is that we live in a society where we should all be contributing. And if we're not when we can, then there's something wrong. That's not equality either. And even socialism is not based upon, getting everything for free. Socialism is based upon, an ideology of making sure everybody is kind of doing their bit. But they've missed a step, surely, if they want to just, this entitlement ideology has slipped in this generation. Because you're a bit younger than
their ideology, and to be perfectly frank with everybody, their ideology is also got to be followed up with not being white. And if you are white, you have to do what Sean King does, or you have to constantly smear white people in every chance you get. Over in the UK, you know that guy Imam Chowdhury, right?
Yeah, I do.
You've heard him, I'm
Should
sure.
be kicked out of the union.
He's a pig. They should take him out into a field. They should hog tie him, and they should shoot him in the back of the head.
Did you see the interview he did on CNN? I saw this thing of the bit before it.
Yeah.
They asked him to do a sound check, and he was going 1, 2, 3, 9/11. Ha ha ha! Did you hear what I said? 9/11.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a person that should not be in the union. It's absolutely disgusting. People like him and Abu Hamza that have been on benefits in the United Kingdom for God knows how long, and they get paid to sit and spout this rhetoric. Please.
Yeah, and even CNN called him out on it and hung up on him.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if they would do that nowadays. This was going back probably what you're talking about. Like, that was close to 10 years ago.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Chet, because I know you're quite a bit younger than me, but didn't your parents kind of instill in you the ideology that if you work, you got to work hard in order to kind of get what you need and look out for your family, and never any of this entitled bullshit where just sit back and draw your check every month and blah blah blah. I mean, no one's ever given anything to me. You know, I know you go and do a
Listen.
job every day as well as everything else so that you can pay for your kids. Hi to Yas, who just
My
joined the live
grandparents
feed.
didn't own slaves. My grandfather was a drill sergeant. He was a Marine. He went to Iwo Jima, and then he was a police officer when he came home. My father was a veteran. My uncles all veterans, Vietnam.
Right.
We were raised in a military household. It's the only way that we're going to get back this country.
It is.
To start to be strict
It is.
and to champion American, the basic ideas of what the Constitution is and what it represents. Exceptionalism for America. I mean, it's the same thing when they asked Barack Obama, Xander, do you believe in American exceptionalism? Well, I believe in Greece exceptionalism, and I believe in Norway. You know, it's basically saying America's no better than anybody else out there, and that's not true. We're better than every other country in the world. Sorry.
Wait, are you referring to that gay Kenyan who had a crisis after kids and was married to a man? We got to leave it there, Chet, but I'm sure you agree with that ideology. Tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, go to freedomondeck.com. Everything's right there for you. Xander will be on the show this weekend, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. You just go there, click Listen Live, and you'll hear myself, Xander, CV, Brian, the whole crew. Julio's going to actually be on the program. So it's going to be a lot of the voices that you hear on Xander's show, and it's going to be over there. So we should have a good, fun time, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks so much for calling. Chet Martin from Freedom on Deck. I'll speak to you very soon, brother. Thanks a lot.
God bless him.
God bless you too. God bless America. So I want to start bringing on my next guest. He is a comedian and an actor, and he's a regular on the show, although he's not been on for a while. He is the fabulous Mr. Stephen D. Schneider, who will be calling us any minute now. Welcome to everybody who's in the live feed. I think I've said hello to everybody. Hey to Yaz. Welcome. I hope you didn't drive too fast to get home in time to watch the show. Yes, says her first job was at age 13 and she's 61. And she has to work to the age of 70 to get her full SS entitlement. Yeah, that's terrible. Here, the retirement age used to be 60, and now they've put it up to 65, and now they're going to do it to 70. I mean, it's ridiculous. Get some of these assholes off benefits and get them working so that there's enough money in the pot for people when they leave work. You know, here they have a different system. I will never get a pension from the British government, even though I paid into it. You know, that's kind of, concerning for me, really. But they'll ship in, all these people from Hong Kong and give them benefits and pensions and all of these things when they've never paid into the system here. And that's a good thing about America. You know, if you've never paid into the system, you don't get handouts from it. But the liberals want to change that. The liberals want to make it so illegals can get benefits, illegals can vote, illegals can have a say in the way that our fabulous country is run, but we're not having it. So this should be my guest. Welcome back to the show, the fabulous Stephen D. Schneider. How is the world with you, Stephen?
Xander, how you doing, buddy? I'm not just walking around without my face mask on, having a good time.
Good. Well, if anybody gives you any hassle, tell them that you're licensed to kill and that you're on the Xander Gibb show, and if they don't like it, you're going to kick them in the nuts.
Yeah, I almost got into a fight with the guy in Texas this week over it, and he backed down, but literally almost got into a fist fight.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that going on. You know, we were talking earlier about the fact that Tom Hanks had said he has no respect for anybody that doesn't wear a mask. I mean, if there is it's not the law to wear a mask, so why the hell should you have to do it?
Yeah, the whole wearing a mask thing is just a big propaganda lie, hit job. All it is showing the compliance and the submission of the sheep. That's all this is. This is all a big scam job, Xander. It's all a big fraud, and too many Americans are being stupid sheep. And unfortunately, it's hurting us.
Well, I think a huge part of it is to actually see how obedient we will be. But clearly, they're testing to see whether there will be a revolution or not. And I think if they carry on much more, people are going to start fighting back, and rightly so. I mean, I'm all for peaceful protests, but let's face it, they don't know what that means on the left. So, what should we just stay there and be hit and treated badly, or should we fight back? I mean, it's a very simple choice as far as I'm concerned.
Well, let's look at it this way, okay? The Democrats want the economy shut down because they think it hurts Trump. They want businesses closed because they think it hurts Trump.
Right.
Okay? So then out of the same side of their mouth, they say that we should wear masks to stop the spread. They don't want to stop the spread. They want the spread to get worse. Therefore, masks are useless. And there's your proof right there.
Yeah, and that's why Nancy Pelosi was out in Chinatown at the beginning of all of this saying, oh, yes, go out, everything's fine, everything's wonderful. I mean, I call it a pandemic and have from day one, and I think that it really is that ridiculous and people that are buying into it. I mean, there's a very well-known professor here in the UK called Professor Carol Sikora, and he says that anyone that died of coronavirus, and I'm sorry for anybody that has, but they would have died this year anyway because their immune system has to be pretty bad to die from a virus like this. So I believe some of these healthcare professionals are kind of I want to say paid to say different, because really if your medical training tells you one thing and you say another, there's a reason for that, isn't there, really?
Yeah, but then some of these doctors, some of them are great, and some of them got their degrees out of a Cracker Jack fucking box.
Yeah, exactly.
These guys are kooks and quacks.
Exactly.
Birx and Fauci should be arrested and thrown into a loony bin because they're both nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Dr. Deep State Fauci. Now, I want to jump into our first topic. American diplomatic staff have left their consulate in the Chinese city of Chengdu after 72-hour deadline expired. China ordered the closure in response to the U.S. closing the Chinese consulate in Houston, Texas last week, alleging that it become a hub for spying and property theft. Pre-deadline staff were seen leaving the building. A plaque was removed and a U.S. flag was lowered. China's foreign ministry said Chinese staff had entered the building after the deadline and took over. A U.S. State Department spokesperson said the consulate stood at the center of relations with people in Western China, including Tibet, for 35 years. We are disappointed by the Chinese Communist Party's decision and will continue to strive to reach out to people in this important region through other posts in China. Tensions have been escalating between the two countries over a number of issues, mainly China's spreading of the Kung flu virus. Washington has also been condemned on the impositions of China a controversial law in Hong Kong. Last week, a Singaporean man pleaded guilty to a U.S. court working as an agent of China. Also last week, 4 Chinese nationals were charged in a separate case of U.S. visa fraud for allegedly lying about China serving in the military. Aren't we sick of China? Isn't it time to institute sanctions against them and stop them from spying on the United States and other countries and trying to be the big boss, cocky?
Yeah, we are at war with China, Xander. I mean, as bad as Russia is, I mean, nobody poses a bigger threat to the United States than China.
Right.
China is the most bloodthirsty, devil-worshipping scum. I mean, how many Muslims do they have in extermination camps right now?
Yeah.
They have mobile execution units. They dump their garbage. Talk about polluting. They dump their garbage and their plastic into the oceans. They kill dogs and cats and eat them. They slice off the fins of poor sharks for shark fin soup.
Right.
I mean, how many millions and millions of people did Mao kill? The Chi-Coms will disappear you.
Exactly.
China is just a disgusting cesspool, and they should be dealt with. We shouldn't have anything to do with China. They should be our sworn enemy. They are pieces of vile commie trash, and they are anti-American, anti-freedom scum. So yeah, China can go fuck itself.
Well, don't you think that we have, like, both in the UK and the United States and other countries that have been infected by the Kung flu? And yes, I'm going to say I don't care if it's considered to be racist. Don't you think that we have a particular axe to grind? I mean, the number of people that have died and the number of people that have been affected by it. And I don't think it was accidental. I mean, surely China needs to be brought to task for letting this get out of their country.
Yeah, they released it on purpose as a bioweapon, and everybody knows that.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that, I have some oceanfront property in Arizona I'd like to sell you if you don't believe that.
Yeah.
Look, these people are completely psychotic, bloodthirsty demon monsters over there. And it was released to hurt our economy, hurt the world economy, but also to hurt our economy. They didn't give us any warning because they wanted it to hurt us. If they didn't want it to hurt us, they would have given us warning. I mean, that's plain and fucking simple, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, McFly. Is anyone home?
Yeah, there's no doubt that all of this is on purpose, and on all of this kind of serves their greater ideology to kind of take over the world, because every country is in debt to China, the UK, the United States. I suggest that everybody stops making their payments back that they owe to actually compensate for even just for the Kung flu. Never mind the spying. Never mind them using iPhones to spy on us. Even the virus alone should be enough reason to actually kick them in the nuts over this.
Absolutely. We should just completely tell them all this debt that we owe them. Hey, guys, go fuck yourself, China. We're not paying it back. We should do that. See, people have got it. Here's what people don't realize in America yet. Okay? Now, other generations have known this, but not this current generation of Americans. You have to kick people in the fucking balls, Xander. And until you kick people in the fucking balls, they're just going to keep hurting you and hurting you.
Right.
You have to fight back. You can't bow down. And yes, China released it. This is the Kung flu. This is the Chinese virus. This is the Chinese coronavirus. They did it. It's their fault. They're responsible. Therefore, all of the millions of people who've lost their jobs, our GDP going down, unemployment rate. Hey, China, fuck you. We're not paying back our debt to you. How do you like that? That's exactly what we should be doing.
Don't you find it kind of hilarious they refer to it as racist for referring to it as the Chinese virus? Given even just from the basic simplicity that being Chinese is national origin, not a race, because the race is Asian. I could understand calling it racist if you called it the Asian flu. But even so, as far as I'm concerned, it's about saying where it freaking came from. It's that basic.
No, it's not racist. It's a factual statement. It came from China. Everybody just repeat after me. The virus came from China. Therefore, it is okay to call it the Chinese flu.
Absolutely. And going from one virus to another, which is a fabulous segue as far as I'm concerned. When Harry and Meghan dropped their Megxit bombshell 7 months ago, all hell broke loose at Buck House, with the couple having been blindsided by the Queen releasing their shock sayonara Instagram. Aides were thrown into such a frenzy. Yet at the firm's major shareholders take stock of the fallout from the serialization of Finding Freedom, a pathetic tale of Meghan not getting her own way, seemingly written with their blessing. Something the couple have denied. Now, there have been several conference calls among advisors over the weekend. The Queen, the Prince Charles, and the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are understood to have barely registered a reaction to the much-hyped book by Omid Scobie and Caroline Durant, apparently viewing their already familiar revelations as yesterday's news. The sense of nonchalance is partly down to the coronavirus, which has put events of January 2020 into a perspective, with thousands of Brits having died in the pandemic, which has reshaped the entire world order. But as usual, the Sussex have struggled to establish themselves stateside with their entitled attitudes, freeloading a Tyler Perry's gaffe, but you can imagine this for the rest of their lives. But aren't we bored of the story of the princess and the extra that didn't get her own way?
Yeah, I got to tell you, unless Kate and Meghan do some kind of lesbian action, and they're topless and they're rolling around in bed together.
Imagine.
I want to see that. Let me tell you something
right
now. I want to see that. Now, unless they do that, they've got nothing to say. And remember, the reason why Meghan and little Harry left is because they know with the Ghislaine Maxwell and the all of the pedophile stuff coming out, it's going to come out that certain members of the royal family were involved in this child trap. And I think they're trying to get away from it. They're trying to distance. And that's why the royal family's bollocks.
Bollocks! What's a load of bollocks? I mean, it's already, it's already apparent that Andrew has had some kind of involvement in this at whatever level. But the thing is that wouldn't you want to comply with the FBI and stuff and get it out of the way? And because I would be on a if you did nothing wrong, you'd be on a plane and you would be saying, I actually did nothing wrong. But I want to go back to Meghan for a minute. Now, she accused the American media and the British media of being racist. Who the hell knew she was black? I mean, she's some white extra chick from a TV show. I didn't even know she was black. Did you?
No, I didn't know she was black. I just thought she was good looking. I just thought she was a woman. I don't look. If there's black people, there's black people. If you're white, you're white. If you're, we need to get past this race shit, and she needs to get past it too. I didn't know she was black. And by the way,
me either.
I didn't know that until you just told me. And I'm the one who just said I wanted to see her topless in a porn action with Tate.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not racist, Xander. Absolutely not. I'm equal opportunity.
Me too.
I like all races.
Me too. I love black guys. Send them my way. If you get any black gay guys hitting on you, dude, send them my way. I think the thing is that it's an easy go-to for the left, and clearly Meghan is a super liberal, and so her first response is when she's not getting her own way. Because I think the thing is, she wanted to be Princess Diana. She was never going to fill those shoes. It was never going to happen. So her first response was that the press and the royal family were racist. Well, I've never seen any of that publicly. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors at Buckingham Palace. But I doubt they would have had an issue with her race. Because if they did, they wouldn't have let him marry her in the first place. It is that simple.
Yeah, exactly. Look, at the end of the day, she is a globalist, a wealthy, elite scumbag, just like Harry, just like all the members of the royal family. Yeah. They had Princess Di killed. I fully believe that. I
don't doubt it.
They've had their big toes stuck in all kinds of crap over the years. And aren't they from, Nazi bloodline? Or didn't I hear they were Vlad Dracula's bloodline in Romania or something like that? I mean,
I don't know about that, but
there's some incest there.
Lots in the royal family. There's lots of it. But Prince Philip is Greek. Prince Philip was born in Greece, so maybe he'll be inviting Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson over. And now they're Greek citizens, over there. But I think that ultimately, I am so bored of hearing about Meghan Markle. I mean, this could have been great. She could have stayed here. She could have made a real life for herself. She could have had the media in her hand. But when she didn't get the same adoration as Princess Diana, she turned around and had a hissy fit and called them racist. I mean, the media are scum-sucking shitbags, but I don't think they ever mentioned her race, because I don't think they knew to begin with. We only knew that she was black when her black father, or there was a black mother, isn't it? It's her mother that's black, came to the wedding. Because who knew? I was like, who's that black lady at the wedding? I thought it might have been one of my old homies from NYC, but it was her mother. So nobody knew she was black. So if they didn't know she was black, how could they have been racist towards her?
Yeah, she's playing the victim card. She's got nothing to complain about. No one's ever treated her. She's never been experienced racism. I'm sorry. I'm telling you. She lives with a silver spoon in her mouth. Yeah. She's got tons of money. She's got so much power. She's beautiful. She's good looking. She seems like she's fairly intelligent. But yeah, she's playing the victim card, and I don't believe it at all.
Right.
Yeah, the royal family's got a lot of problems, but I didn't know she was black.
Yeah.
I don't really care if she's black. Has not my business. And I just think her and little Harry are fleeing because they know the shoes about racism.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe if they do, her and Kate do a lesbian porn film, we'll have you on to come talk about that. But we are out of time, my friend. Tell people where they can find you and tell us about your latest project.
Yes, me and one of my co-authors, we've written a book called How to Be a Miserable Failure, The Complete Guide for Destroying Your Life. You can go to howtobeamiserablefailure.com. howtobeamiserablefailure.com to find out all about our little project.
Absolutely. Let's hope it's not so little. And when it does turn into a movie, please be sure to give me a call for a leading role. I'm sure there's a part for a fat, gay, conservative wheelchair user somewhere within the script. Listen,
absolutely. You got it.
Give my best to your lovely wife and your daughter, and we will speak to you again next week, my friend.
Thanks, Xander. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Stephen. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was Stephen D. Schneider. Make sure you check him out at StephenDSchneider.com and also howtobeamiserablefailure.com. That's everything for tonight's show. Thanks to everyone who's made the show possible. Thanks to everyone in the live feed. Thanks to my good friend Chet Martin for calling in. Chet Martin from Freedom on Deck. That's freedomondeck.com. Go and follow them on Facebook and all social media. Yeah, says Harry is going to have his regrets. Yeah, I think he is too. Thanks to everyone in the live feed, as I said. Not had your fill of the Gibb syrup. You can catch me 5 nights a week, 5 Pacific, 7 Central, 6 Eastern, 1 a.m. in the UK, and 10 a.m. the next day down there in Australia. Join us tomorrow for more scintillating shit when Tony Lusako joins us. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you stay safe out there. I really do love you all. And my thing is not working. And I've been Xander Gibb, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Please press the share button and go to the Xander Gibb Show page and click like. I really do love you all. I do. Bye-bye.
It has been good to me this time around. Things were the bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no rest. Love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and eras don't dictate.
Click the bell button and subscribe to keep up with the Xander Gibb Show. Oh, yes, sirree.